Hello, hello, and welcome to this month's EngErotics live stream. I'm Jackie Mick, Chief Marketing Officer at EngErotics, and I will be your host today, and I will be very awkward about it. Each month, we are unpacking the ideas from our blog in real time with real bodies, real lives, and real conversations. This month, we're talking about hygge, and I probably said that wrong, but that's okay. We have like some experts here, kind of experts, to walk us through it. What it is, why it matters, and why slowing down might be the most sensual move we make all year. Our vibe is curious, smart, a little sassy, grounded in real life and real bodies. You'll see that real is very important to us. And as you're listening, if something sparks curiosity, let that be your cue to explore. Everything we mention lives at EngErotics.com, ready for you to turn inspiration into experience. Let's get into it. Today, I'm joined by some of the leadership team behind EngErotics, and we're going to start simple. Instead of defining hygge academically, I want us each to share what it means to us. Okay, so I'm going to bring Raven on now. Hello,
Hi.
Raven.
Definitely not a hygge expert.
Oh, okay, so I am saying it right.
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. I should ask some of my Danish friends to let me know, because I'm quite certain it doesn't sound like the way that we say it, because
Probably not. There's probably so
Danish
much nuance.
is an entirely different language. What is it to me? Today it's gonna look a lot like a scalding shower and putting something comfy on. And I cannot do any of that until I pick up my son from basketball practice later on today. So I'm just like counting down the hours, but that's what it is today.
Oh, no. I removed you by accident. I hit the wrong one.
That's okay.
Then we have Amanda Moser, our sexologist and CBD researcher. How do you experience hygge?
You know, in the general sense, I definitely it reminds me a lot about what we talked about last month, about being more intentional and being just in the present moment. And now we have a fun word that we can use to do that.
I actually just played it in Scrabble the other day and felt like so accomplished.
Oh, that's fun.
That's awesome.
And I said that already. I'm Jackie Mick. And for me, mine is very similar to Raven's, except for instead of a scalding hot shower, it's a scalding hot bath. I have a very lovely, like 1900s clawfoot bathtub, and it's the best bath.
You know, like the thing that's stopping me from taking a bath is I actually just got, I don't know if you can see it. There we go. I got a new tattoo.
Woohoo.
Yeah. So I'm not supposed to be in any body of water for a week or so, but it's healing really nicely. And yeah, so that was my latest adventure. It was a Galentine's thrifting, tattoo bus crafting.
Was it a spur of the moment tattoo, or did you plan it ahead of time?
A little bit of both. So the a friend invited me to go on this Galentine's bus. Tea and Honey, I believe, is the name of the tattoo studio down in Inglewood. And so for like $140, you buy a ticket, you get a spot on the bus, you do all kinds of things. Like you hit up the dispensary, you go for coffee, you go thrifting, you wind up back at the tattoo studio for crafting and a movie and a tattoo. And so I knew that I was going to get a tattoo when I signed up for this thing, because that's part of the thing. I didn't know what I was going to get. And so it's just, flash. And there were like assorted pieces of flash that had already been selected that you got to choose from. So I didn't know what was going to be available. I didn't know what I was getting or where it was going to be. So this is my 5th tattoo. I've not been tattooed since many, many years. I was not married. This was before I met my husband, before I became a mom. So somewhere in my early 20s. And it's my first visible tattoo, because all my other tattoos are on my torso, and I'm got to be in my swimsuit underwear naked for you to see those. So
what is it?
It's like a little, there we go. It's just, imagine, flip it over, flowers. It's like a couple of flowers, like a tulip, and then another little blossomy thing. But I've never gotten a fine line tattoo before. And, necklace. yeah, and it's healing nicely. It looks beautiful. It's so dainty and delicate. I'm really glad that I got it. So that's why I'm not taking a bath. So, a shower will do this evening.
That's the worst part about getting tattoos, honestly, is not being able to take a bath for a while.
So yeah, but I mean, a shower will work, and yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. It's Thursday, may as well be Friday. It's been such a long week.
Bro, we haven't had ceramics class since like mid-December, and that was like my anchor to my week. If it was Wednesdays I had ceramic class, I don't have it anymore, and I'm so unmoored. Like I have no center to my week anymore. And it's weird how just like this one thing that I do made the whole week feel like it had purpose. I don't know. I feel like I'm explaining it badly, but I miss going to ceramics.
Yeah, no, I think that makes a lot of sense, because like, when you have something that anchors you in your week, it kind of gives you like, I don't know, a point of reference, like a stability point, like something to kind of hang on to. And I feel like, I don't know, it's like when my kids are home from school on like a long weekend or whatever, everything is just kind of hazy because I'm away from my regular routine. So yeah, I feel ya.
Like the best I can do right now is The Pit comes on Thursdays, and I know that, and that's it.
So what have we got on the agenda today regarding hygge?
Well,
and I got to apologize to my Danish friends. I have no excuse. I could, and I probably still couldn't pronounce it correctly. So I'm going to do my best.
So I guess a good way to start out would be talking about like how we came to this as a blog topic, because why was this important to us? Why are we writing about it?
I'm going to kick that over to Amanda, because my answer is that we had a meeting where we planned the newsletter topics, and that is all I remember.
So this was actually a topic that we bounced around with the end of last year. And it's actually something that we've been wanting to talk about. And like I said, I think it really just went hand in hand with our topic from last month. We're really trying to look at a more general approach of being more present and being in the moment. And we also, I don't know if you remember, we wanted to wait to talk about it until we were actually in a cozy season, because we did not want to talk about being cozy when it was still 100 degrees outside. And Denver has still been really warm, and we're talking about it. But yeah, that was kind of how this came to fruition.
I don't think we ever really got to cozy winter here in Denver. Like
I'm okay with it.
I like
our seasonal depression's real, and I want no part of it.
We've not had any snow whatsoever. Like, no, I know that hygge's, traditionally like for the colder winter, darker months. And so like in Denmark, I don't know if y'all have ever been, but
No.
It's far enough north in latitude that the days get really, really short earlier in the year. So it's like the days are short, but in the summer, like the days are long. I remember being, my husband and I, we were there we were in Copenhagen as part of our baby moon years ago. And I remember it being 11:30 at night. It's the middle of the summer, and it's like twilight outside. It never got dark. In contrast, like on the other side of the coin, years before that, early in my career, I was working and living over there. Like this was well before EngErotics. And I was training and working on a project or whatever. And I was there as it wasn't even like really winter. It was like August, September, somewhere in there. But the days were getting really short, and it got dark much sooner. So in the dead of winter, it gets dark really early. Places close early, and it's cold. So, when it's, a good chunk of the year is like cold and dark, and it gets cold and dark earlier. You don't feel like doing anything really. So
that was an adjustment moving up here, because when we moved up in the summertime, so the days were like super long. We would be going to bed at like 10 o'clock at night, and it's still kind of light out, and we're like, this is wild. But then when winter hit and it's dark at 5 in the afternoon, we're like, this is miserable. And this year has been the longest winter we've had. Like we had snow on the ground for a full month, and that's the longest that we've had it since we've been up here. Like this was our worst winter yet.
Yeah, it's an adjustment. And I mean, it's like, you know, you got a Black woman on here talking about Danish culture. But I really enjoyed it. I had a really good time. And, you know, like I said, this is early in my career. So when I was like 23, 24, I will be 40 next month for reference for all of you guys watching. And, I was working for a company called Vestas. It's on my LinkedIn profile. This is not a secret. And I was working on wind turbines. And I was over there.
That's so exciting to my brain.
It was cool. It was cool. I really had a good time working there. I made a lot of really good friends. I still talk to a number of those people today and keep in touch with them, even with people that I know who are, you know, they're the Danes over there that are living in Denmark. And I had a blast. And one of the things that I learned, like my first day working at Vestas HQ in Aarhus, which is the second largest city in Denmark, I believe, next to Copenhagen. My boss walks up to me, introduces himself, and he's like, you know, like, I know that it's different in America, but you're in Denmark now. So if you go to lunch and you want to have some wine and you want to have some beer, like that is totally okay. If you want to leave early to go sightsee, like that is totally okay. And like all the things you needed to do, like you needed to do them during the day, because by the time you got off work, like a lot of things were closed except for like maybe the grocery store, which I would hit up after work. So there was definitely like this, hey, American woman, like you are here in Denmark. We want you to enjoy Denmark. And it was just like a real culture shock. And that wasn't even like touching hygge, but I had such a good time.
I don't know if I would have been able to leave that culture. Like that sounds so relaxing.
I had such a good time. And let me tell you, like, that is the only company that I've ever worked for in my career that wasn't American. Vestas is Danish. And I had never had employee benefits like that before. And I've not had employee benefits like that since. It was really something. So I can't speak for everybody, of course, but I enjoyed my time there. I enjoyed traveling to Denmark. I enjoyed visiting it again, like after I wasn't working there anymore. I was just there to like see friends. Oh, and they baked fresh bread in the cafeteria, in the canteen.
Oh,
in the canteen. They baked fresh bread. And so you could go have your breakfast and your lunch. Like they had a kitchen on site. There was a grand piano in the atrium. And so you'd walk in to start your day and there was a professional pianist at the thing. And you're just like carried into your workday on, you know, this classical music, just wafting you up the elevator. It was something.
That sounds amazing. Do you think that your time there informed the way that you run EngErotics?
Yeah, I have not really thought about it in that sense, but I would be lying if I said that it didn't affect me. You know, of course, no company is perfect. And during that time in my life, I didn't know that EngErotics was going to be a thing. I don't even remember like what the maternity policy was, because I was in my early 20s. I wasn't thinking about kids, so I didn't even worry about any of that. But I do remember that, you know, while I was there, like working in Denmark, like, as I said, what really stuck out to me was like, enjoy your time. Like, you know, yes, you're here to work, but enjoy your time. Have wine with lunch, you know, go see the sights. And I did. I left work early. Like nobody looked at me sideways for wanting to go sightseeing during the day. So that is definitely something that stuck with me. And of course, you know, I came back to, you know, the States because, you know, it's like I was working at the R&D office here. And so it's like, it's still, you know, working for a Danish company in America, but still it was like it was different because, like, you know, the Danes were very serious about their holidays. Like there's a period of months during the summer you can't get a hold of anybody. Like they have a lot of holidays. They have an extent. They take their. They are done. Don't. You know. And so that's something that we talked about, like here in the office here in Colorado. Like, well, if you need XYZ, make sure you get it in before this date because that's when all the Danes go on holiday, and you won't hear from them again until August or whenever. So yeah, I would say that, you know, it wasn't like, I guess it wasn't like part of like the direct template of building EngErotics, but it left an imprint on me. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because like one of the questions that I put in here is why does rest feel rebellious in our culture? And it does. Like it feels like just this afternoon I had a little bit of extra time and I was like, well, there's a TV show that I want to watch. I'm going to take some time and watch it. And I felt like guilty afterwards because I wasn't doing anything productive during the day.
I hear ya. I've been talking a lot. Amanda, you talk. I got a response for everything, so let me hush.
No, I also fall into that that cycle, that expectation that you always have to be productive, and that rest has to be you have to do something to earn it, right? I mean, even when I go do something, I'm like also listening to an audiobook because I'm like, I can't just drive and listen to music. That's not productive. I need to drive and get caught up on an audiobook, right? But you know, I also I like to think that I'm reaching a point, and I do find that I reach this point and then I get back into my type A,
Yeah.
how to do everything mode. And then I have to get back to this point. Because I remember having this conversation with myself back in college and really having to learn and relearn that rest is also productive. And we really have to move forward to really internalize that and believe that. Like right now I'm studying for a certification, you know, this big comprehensive exam that I have coming up. And of course, my guilty conscience is telling me I need to spend every waking minute studying because it's approaching rapidly. But then there also gets to a point where my eyeballs are moving, but my brain is just not following along with it. And I have to really listen to that because we're wasting time at that point if I just keep moving forward. And I have to realize that if I rest, I'll be able to come back to it and be productive afterwards. And so really getting into this mindset that rest does not have to be earned, and that resting is being productive.
And I think you touched on something important in the early part of what you were saying about how you'll get to the point where you don't feel guilty about rest anymore, but then you'll fall back. And me personally, before I figured out I had OCD at the fallback part, it took me so long to get out of that because I would just, in my brain, there was like this negative feedback loop that I was first of all, I was rude and greedy for wanting to rest, and two, I'm a failure because I'm back in the same spot again. And like once I figured out like what was causing all of that, it helped me be able to like move through it instead of just sticking there. But sometimes I still fall back there, but that's okay because I've been able to build the tools to get out of there. And that's the important part. It's not just identifying what's happening, but building the tools to get out of it.
Yeah, I think that's a really important thing to recognize. Like you need tools to, you know, it's not something that one just does necessarily. And, you know, for me, it's like I'm in the thick of it. You know, it's like I've got EngErotics and all the rest going on, and we're in the middle of like youth sports and competitive sports, and you know, and I'm so like looking forward to rest because basketball just ended. But even though the basketball season's over, we still have like 2 or 3 birthday parties to go to. Yeah. So, I mean, you have to be really intentional and you have to have the tools to take that time and, you know, to be able to give yourself some grace when you don't always get it right quote unquote, you know, that makes sense. And that can be really difficult. And I try really hard not to fall into that with EngErotics, because it always seems like there's 1,000,001 things that we need to do. And like, I sometimes feel like, well, I can't do this with that. I can't do it by myself. Like, I need help. Like, we need to get this done. And it's like, you know, like, it doesn't all have to get done today. And it probably shouldn't, because it's not gonna work well if you rush it and you don't do it properly. So yeah, I suffer from that too. I do love listening to music in the car though, because sometimes like that's my time. I'm just like, that is like when I have the car to myself, I listen to whatever the hell I want, or want to listen to the same damn song. Like, it does not matter. And that's like, that is my time. I've actually never tried listening to an audiobook. So
driving, listening to music in the car is like the only thing I miss about driving.
Yeah.
Because I would listen to musicals, and like I knew so many full books of musicals because of driving around, and not doing it anymore. Like I'm behind in my musical knowledge a little bit, but
I mean, you could do that while you're folding laundry though. That's the other time.
oh, don't think that I don't.
You know, I just, because I hate folding laundry. I really do. So it's like sometimes just like listening to music is so helpful. But yeah, I mean, it's just, rest is rebellious, because we live in a society that tells us if you're not producing, you're essentially useless, worthless. I don't know. You're not.
And even with like hobbies and stuff, people are trying like, oh, you're good at that, you should sell that.
You should sell it. Yeah.
Yeah. Instead of just being like, you're good at that. I'm happy that you're enjoying yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and honestly, like, that's why I don't sell my cakes. I mean, I probably shouldn't even be saying this publicly, because now everybody's gonna like, oh, Raven's good at baking cakes. And yeah, I'm good.
Well, you are.
Thank you. Thank you. I am. And you know, people have asked me, they're like, can I order a cake from you? Can I pay you to bake? I'm like, no. You'll know it's your time for a cake because I'll gift you one. You know, it's the cake distribution system. And it works a certain way. Money is not involved. It's just, I get inspired, and that's what it is. You know, it's like I bake from the heart. And, you know, when you monetize something that you enjoy, it's a whole different thing. And you have to have a really unique relationship with it, I think. I don't know. EngErotics, I feel like, is, you know, monetizing something. It's monetizing a subset of something that I'm good at. All the things that EngErotics offers are not things that I'm good at. So I feel like I'm in the clear. Like, you know, I feel like I'm in the clear there, but still it is monetizing, you know, something that has always been near and dear to me. But I feel it's like for the greater good, and it helps to push society along. And can cakes do that? I mean, maybe they can. I don't know.
Like, trying to put a twist on it where cakes could move society along. Like, you know, okay, so there's like a big quilt festival every year, and have you seen the protest quilts coming out of it this year? Like,
no.
it is amazing. I encourage you to look up the protest quilts this year. They're already pretty much protesty. There's a few protesty ones every year, but this year is just inundated with them, and it makes me proud to be like an American in that way.
I'm actually looking it up on my phone right now.
Oh, it's amazing. It might make you cry. It made me cry, some of them. I love seeing people change the world through art. So maybe you can make protest cakes. Make a thoughts and prayers cake.
I should. Of course, like, you know, the best part of making any cake though is like, why do I make my cakes? Like, I want to ooh and ah, you know, blah, 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 blah. And that's great. But also my cakes are delicious. Like, so the end goal is that it's going to be eaten. You know, it's like, it's going to be eaten. And so like, definitely like when I bake, it's very therapeutic.
Uh-oh, you frozen or I frozen?
No, I'm still here.
There we go.
Okay. All right. Raven's back.
Everybody disappeared for a quick minute. But I mean, like, baking is like, you know, it's labor, and, you know, you're doing a lot of work, but there's something so soothing and comforting and cozy for me. Like it's a very intentional, is everything about baking is very intentional. Like the mixing, the measuring, being very precise, and the order in which you add your ingredients. The temperature at which you add your ingredients, like all sorts of things, like really, like I love it. And so it's not for everybody, because baking is chemistry, cooking is art. It's like it's the Wild West over in cooking, but baking is very like, methodical, which I really enjoy. And it kind of like brings me back together. It gives me something to focus on. And so, I don't know, like when I think about monetizing that, because like in the spirit of like the topic, working isn't exactly what hygge is about, like in my opinion. It's not where you don't go to work to rest and relax. I mean, even here in EngErotics, like we work really hard at what we do. It takes a lot of effort and coordination to do everything that we do. And it burns a lot of energy. And so, when I'm like in my kitchen and I turn off my phone or whatever, do not disturb. I guess I never turn it off, but do not disturb. And I'm just like doing my thing. It's just so soothing. It's so soothing. And that's something that, I don't know, monetizing it just doesn't seem right, because as soon as you do that, then it's like, oh, I want it this way. And, and I'm just like,
yeah. Once a person becomes a client, it's a different thing.
Do either of you guys have like something you're really, really good at that people are like, people should pay for that you're just like, no? Do you have one of those things?
No, because I've mostly tried to turn all the things that I'm good at in a way to make money. So maybe that's why I brought that up. I will say that switching from doing the lollipops where we would go and sell them at a big festival 3 or 4 times a year versus the way that I'm doing it now, which is coming up with 2 new flavors a month and doing little surprise packages that I'm sending to people, has been a very good shift, because it's not about just producing the same flavors over and over in bulk, but every month I get to pick out a theme and pick out flavors that go with it and reach out to one of my friends to make a bonus item that I can include in the package. So switching that has been, even though I'm not really making any money off of it, I'm just like covering my cost. So I guess that.
What about you, Amanda?
This whole time that we've been talking, it's made me remember of just the idea of where do we find our worth? Because I know I'm bad and working on finding my worth through my productivity, which is why when I rest, I feel guilty, because I, for whatever reason now don't feel worthy for resting, or because I'm resting. So I know that something I'm working on is like, okay, who am I without my achievements, without my what I accomplish, right? I'm trying to get into this mindset of I'm okay and I'm still a worthy person that contributes, even if I bed rot for 2 weeks straight. And I say that and I kind of cringe, but I'm like, I'm really trying to get into that thought pattern. I mean, I have an amazing partner that straight up tells me, like, you can literally do that for 2 weeks and I will still love you and I will support you and I will bring you snacks. But for whatever reason, I just can't get myself to even comprehend that as a possibility. I mean, I sit down for 2 minutes and I'm like, oh geez, I got to get up. This is getting out of hand. So anyways, that was what I've been thinking.
Yeah, I hear you. And when you were talking about like, who am I without my accomplishments and all of that, I went through a bit of that when I left the corporate world. I went through a bit of that when I left the corporate world. And I mean, for so long, I always was, like working for somebody else's engineering firm, doing whatever. And it was like a bright spot on my resume. And so like, and this was like before I decided that EngErotics was going to be what I did. I genuinely believed that I was going to interview for another position. And I don't know what I thought about like, I was going to do EngErotics part-time. I think like the idea was at the time, I'm not going to be ready, quote unquote, or, I'm not going to be ready to be a full-time entrepreneur until I'm 40. I think that is what I told myself. I won't be ready. I'll be ready when I'm 40, but not a moment before. I need to give myself time to like really soak it all up in the corporate world. And of course, like I'm a big believer that if you don't listen and you don't heed the signs and read the signposts, like you'll be removed. And that's kind of like sort of what happened. I was like, this is not for me. I'm going to resign. I didn't have anything else lined up. And I really thought that I was going to take a break, quote unquote, and find something else. And I never did. And here I am, here we are, so, but I did go through that period of time where I was like, well, EngErotics wasn't anything. Like, we didn't have the press. We didn't have the credibility. Like I hadn't done any public speaking. Like nobody knew about us or anything like that. And I'm like, well, who am I without this big, impressive firm that I didn't start? And who am I if I'm not really using my degrees? As it turns out, I'm a lot of things. Like I'm a lot of things. In fact, I would argue that I am more than I ever could have been had I stayed on that path. So.
Yeah, I agree with the separation of the corporate behemoth. Because I had a similar experience, because when I left the chain of retail stores that I worked for, I had some stressful times about like, well, who would even want to talk to me in the industry because I don't work for them anymore? Who am I without them in the community? And I found that I was fine. I had friends in the community. I have friends in the industry, and I'm much happier working this way than I ever was making so much money for other people who did not really care about me.
Absolutely. And of course, they never really do. And I mean, I say that with like a caveat of, like, as I said earlier in our conversation, I enjoyed my time working on wind turbines. I enjoyed my time at Vestas. I got to travel. Like there was flexibility. There was a lot more understanding than what I got in other positions that I've held. So, but again, like, it wasn't an American company. It's not an American company. And therein lies the difference. So
knowing that you worked on wind turbines activates something in my brain so much. It is so exciting to me. Like, I can't wait to talk to you about wind turbines offline. Oh,
it's super cool. Like I'll have to tell you two things that, actually three things about wind turbines that stick out to me that I want to share. One, it's really cool to climb up through the very tippy top and stand on the very top of the nacelle, like on the top, like on the outside.
Is it swaying? Does it sway?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, on windy days. Yeah. Yeah, it does. You have to, get strapped into the fall protection, and like you don't just hang out up there. But
I was gonna say, what if there's a big wind gust? You're a goner.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And it's like I'd never seen the world like that before.
Wow.
But also, since it does sway, you can get motion sickness inside the wind turbine. So that's happened to me. And I had to like get back down to the ground just as quickly as I could. And then thirdly, the harness that you wear to climb the wind turbine, it looks like if you've ever been rappelling or rock climbing, like similar, you want to make sure that that's tight. It's not comfortable. It's especially not comfortable for people with penises and testicles. It's really tight. But let me tell you what, like there is a reason for that, because when you fall, if there's any slack, if there's any give, any looseness, the harness is going to catch you. You're going to hit the harness, and then the fall arrest activates. And if the harness is like not on you and you have testicles, your testicles will pop right out of your scrotum.
Oh.
And, yes. And leadership at Vestas sent out pictures of that. Why? so that all the men would know. And I was like, I've never been happier to have a vulva. I don't know if this is rupturing my clitoris. I don't know. Not taking any chances. So yes, after a day of climbing wind turbines, you got to have hygge. Have we actually been talking about hygge?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, just in relation to all of this other stuff. Like one of the things I was thinking about, one of the things that we say that we're good at is bite-sized self-care. And I do wonder what that looks like through a hygge lens.
Yeah, that's a really good question. We need like hold music or like Jeopardy music for when we're all thinking.
Mickey will insert it here for the podcast people.
Bite-sized self-care through a hygge lens.
That was actually something that I made sure that we linked into this blog, because I also saw the correlation between the two. I think we've been doing really well with talking about self-care, and we're getting more broad than just like, penis, vagina, intercourse with CBD. I think we've been definitely taking a more generalized approach of intimacy is more than just sex. And then, taking it even further of just like self-care and how to implement these bite-sized self-care throughout the day. Because not everyone can commit to a 2-hour bubble bath if you have like kids running around and deadlines to meet and this, that, and the next. But there is something to say of, yeah, we can take a deep breath when we have our morning coffee. I think we all have time for a deep breath every now and again. And I really like that we have been bringing this to light, because I don't think that everybody realizes of how easy or convenient self-care can be. It doesn't have to be this big, like I said, 2-hour commitment. It can just be something as, let's just focus on right here, right now, the present moment. Take that deep breath, maybe say a mantra or two to ourselves. And that in itself, especially when you compound that over time, you do end up having that larger time commitment. It's just broken up into smaller bite-sized pieces.
Yeah. For me, it has to be, because, kids and all of that jazz. Like I feel like one of my moments of bite-sized self-care is really like my morning coffee. I don't like drink coffee to wake up. I wake up to drink coffee. Like that is like the highlight of my morning. I cannot wait to sit with my coffee. I don't like for anybody to like come in between me and my coffee. I like to get my coffee and sit down as soon as I can. And that's like every day. Like, when I get up with the kids and everything, and I'm just like kind of feeling my way around coffee. And then the other thing too is that I wear slipper socks around the house quite a lot.
Grippy socks?
Yep. But we have hardwood floors, so it's not like it's there have been plenty of times where like I was moving too fast in my in my socks and I slipped. And this happened to my kids too when they were toddlers, and they just bam on the floor. But I love wearing my slipper socks. If I know I don't have much going on that day, like I'll take a scalding shower and I'll just put on something like really soft and really comfortable. So just things like that to make my day, like, I don't want to say tolerable, because like, it's not like I'm trying to escape misery. It just feels good.
Yeah.
It feels good. And it's like, I don't have to dress up, so I won't. I'll wear something that feels good on my skin, that's comfortable, just things like that. Maybe if I have the time, maybe I'll take a nap. And that, that's one of the benefits of running EngErotics and working from home. If I want to dip out and take a nap, I can do that. So I do enjoy that from time to time. But like when it comes to, just taking a dedicated time for like spa day or whatever, like few and far between, because life. So you definitely have to in there, and I kind of feel like that project we were talking about before we hit record that we're trying to, I kind of feel like this aligns with that, but I don't want to talk about it because I'm not ready to boom right there.
How do you think that how does orgasm not being the goal aligns?
You get to enjoy the journey. Does that sum it up?
I think that our society right now is so focused on being efficient, they're just forgetting to enjoy things.
Yeah, efficient. Oh man, efficient sex. I hadn't.
I think it goes back to our productivity goal, right? It's always about achieving something. It's always about accomplishing something, and it's never about the journey to get there. And so when we talk about orgasm is not the goal, that's really to emphasize that journey of foreplay, and then, just playing around and really enjoying not just the moment, but the pleasure, because I truly don't think that you can really fully enjoy pleasure if in the back of your head you are so focused on a certain goal.
I agree.
I think that's becoming more and more important for me, because I am about to be 40. And so and things started changing for me about 2-3 years ago. And early perimenopause is where I'm at. Like I know there are a lot of women out there, they don't go through what I'm going through until like 45 or maybe a little older, but it is real. Like I'm on hormone replacement therapy. I'm estrogen patch, progesterone pill, and it's different. And so the way my body responds is different. Priorities are different. And so you really have to take the time to respect what intimacy is and is not. And I would say that I think that for most of us, I mean, I can't speak for everybody, but I think for most people, especially it's true for me, when we're younger, we don't really focus so much on intimacy. It's it's doing the sex and getting off and all of that. And of course, I think it came easier. We all came more easy. It came easier. But I don't think that we had yet learned how to take the time to really enjoy and to savor. I don't know. It's like eating something that has many different layers of flavor, or appreciating a piece of music that has many different layers in its musical composition. It's not just flat. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect
Or am I just totally off in left field?
No, that makes perfect sense.
And I think at the same time too, when you're younger, it's still so new. And so and I think it gives such a stimulus because of the novelty factor. Whereas, after we age, we've done it a couple times.
We've done it a couple
times. And if I eat a slice of pizza, if I eat a slice of pizza, 3 times a week, the same slice, I kind of know what to expect. But if I actually take the time and try to taste the tomato and let's get the texture of the crust, it brings that novelty back.
It does. And I feel for people who are older, there's a reason, you go to sex resorts, swingers clubs, or whatever. A lot of the people who patronize establishments like that are a little older. I'm not saying that there are not people in their early 20s who don't enjoy that. There surely are, but it seems like the bulk of the demographic that is they're past the perky titty stage. They still might have them up here, but stretch marks, cellulite, age and experience,
and acceptance.
And acceptance. Yeah, absolutely. Because honestly, some days, I have jeans in my closet, and today some of those jeans are not for me. In a couple of weeks, those pairs of jeans will be for me. It'll be okay, but I don't feel the need to squeeze into them today. It's legging city today. And that's part of just accepting how my body works, where I'm at. But yeah, acceptance. And I think that, going back to hygge, I mean, there's a sense of comfort there too. Coziness within oneself. Like, this is who I am. This is what I look like. And that's really cool, especially like if you're partnered, and you have that dynamic going. Because I mean, there's a lot of people out there that just like, they don't want you to age. They like, look, like, oh, you're getting old. Like,
Yeah.
what's going on? And it's like, dude, you're also getting old.
I'm extremely grateful for my partner for not judging or making any comments about how I'm aging or what I'm deciding to do as I age. My previous marriage was very, very image focused, and I think about how gross that was all the time, and like, who did he think he is to tell me how to do my hair or what clothes to wear or any of that? Like, what the fuck? So
Yeah.
I'm very grateful because, and I'm grateful, but then also I am legitimately the happiest I've ever been with my body right now. And part of that is because where I live now, I'm out in the yard doing a lot of work. So I'm getting exercise that I normally don't do because I am not good at doing exercise unless I had tap class, which I haven't done in a hot minute. But and I think part of me being able to be so happy and accepting of my body is him being happy and accepting of my body. So that's something that I don't say that I'm grateful for very often because I never really think about it, because normally all of the women's stuff is like, oh, hate your body, hate your body. But I love my body right now and I need to not be quiet about it.
Yeah. I feel the same. Like, I'm really like, I will say sometimes I'm at odds with my knees. Like, they are just like clicking, like click.
Oh yeah, my right hip can go fuck itself sometimes.
Sometimes my hip is not hipping at all, but like, that's because I played a lot of sports when I was younger. But I agree, and it's really helpful. Like, it's like, my husband is lovely. I'll sing his praises publicly. I don't know how he feels about that, but I'll tell the world that he is great.
I know it's gonna make Mickey really awkward to hear what I just said.
But it really does make all the difference. It makes all the difference when, like, the person that you're closest to, that, you're intimate with, that you trust, is not tearing you down. Because there are a lot of people that have partners like that. There are a lot of people that have partners like that. And it sounds like the three of us do not have partners like that, which is great. Like,
Yeah.
that is fantastic because age comes for us all. And it beats the alternative, like, in my opinion. It's like, maybe some people are like, oh yeah, I want to die young and leave a beautiful corpse. Like, nah,
My priorities are not that.
absolutely not. Like, I have things that I'm trying to do and see. So, but yeah, it is like a very like cozy, cocoonish, comforting thing. Like, when you have that between two people, and even like, if you've been together for some time and you're kind of like, okay, well, we've done this and this and this and this, you don't feel like so pressured to be like on. You don't feel
Yeah.
so pressured to get turned on. You might be in the moment and like both of you decide that it ain't working, and you're like, do you want to watch TV? Yeah, I do. And then it's like,
And whereas before that would have put my brain into a tailspin 10 years ago, but I've doing the work and using the tools. I'm like, oh, this is just what the bodies are doing right now. It's no big deal. We'll get back to it later.
yeah. I mean, like, what do you guys do? Do you have anything that you guys do with your partners that, like, that's intentional, like, that you can share, that you feel comfortable sharing? Like, a tradition that, like, maintains, like, that cozy connection, like, emotional hygge, if you will? Like, do y'all have anything like that? Because I do, and I'm going to share it, but
Okay, you go ahead while we think.
I've been talking for a hot minute, but okay, I'll share
That's
it.
what we're here for.
And, and I actually have already shared it. I took a picture of it and I posted it on Facebook, like on my personal page. This is not on the EngErotics page. When I went to the Sex Down South conference last year in September, I believe it was September, you get your goodie bag of stuff. And in my goodie bag, there was this really pretty box. And for a second, I thought it was a box. I thought it was perfume. I was like, oh, they put some perfume in my bag. That's awesome. It wasn't perfume. I opened it up and it's a deck of cards. And there's like 250 of them or whatever. each card has a question. And then at the bottom, there's like a note, like with additional context or something to think about. And I'm like, oh, this is really cool because like, you know, my husband and I, we will have been together 15 years come May, and we will have been married for 14 years come September. So we've been together a hot minute. We have 2 kids. You know, we've been through a lot of things together, and we will go through more things together. And right now that's like youth sports and who's taking who to where and who's doing pickup, who's doing drop off. And it is a lot.
Yeah, I remember those days.
And so you get to a point where it's like, I know everything about this person. And of course, me being me, I'm like, maybe I don't know everything there is to know. And so every couple of nights, like, you know, we draw a couple of cards and we ask each other the questions and we answer them and discuss them. Sometimes they're easy to answer. Sometimes they're more difficult to answer. Some of the questions are more lighthearted. Some of them are kind of heavy. But the point of doing them together is like to create like a safe space where you can be vulnerable and honest. And I've really been enjoying it. Like I have really enjoyed it. I don't know how my husband feels, you know. I think he enjoys it too. I think he enjoys it. You know, like he's a willing participant. But I feel like it creates a space to get to know somebody that I've known for a long time, on a different level and in a different format outside of like the day-to-day. So
we used to do stuff like that when we had all of the kids at the house. And we, in fact, had a favorite box of cards that was called Hypotheticals by a fellow named Chuck Klosterman. And they're weird questions. Like the only one I can remember off the top of my head is you come home from a night out on the town and someone has broken into your house. You hear the shower running and inside the shower is Shaquille O'Neal. What do you do?
Probably stare. Probably stare to make sure that what I'm seeing is actually what I'm seeing. Like,
but like I feel like Shaquille O'Neal fits into that weird, like nice, like you don't want him to get in trouble. So are you going to call the police? Like, what do you do in that situation?
I mean, he wouldn't even fit in my shower.
I was gonna say I have a separate shower that he would not fit in. So all I'm picturing is him just squished in my stand-up shower.
Have you seen his episode of Cribs? His bed is massive. Like he doesn't fit. He wouldn't. I don't know what I would do. I think I would probably stare to see if this is actually like. I don't know. I don't know what I would do. I should probably get this card game so I can go there.
It's so great.
It sounds awesome. Oh
my God. I wish I could think of more of the questions, and I've already packed them away, or I would go grab them. Like they're one of the things that I always know where they are because whenever I talk about them, I gotta show them. But they're called Hypotheticals by a guy named Chuck Klosterman, who also writes great books if you're a reader.
I am. When I am able to conjure up the attention and all of that. Amanda, did you answer the question about like your whatever, like the
yes. Intentional things that we do. We're really good about having like no phone time. Whether we're, eating dinner, we're really big on quality time with that emphasis being quality. Try not to be distracted. So yeah, like I said, like during dinner, we have what we call our tier A shows, meaning those are our no phone shows. Like we're not pulling out the phone. I'll give you an eyeball if I see that phone come out during a tier A show, and I know he'd do the same for me. And then like tier B and C shows, you can have your phone. You can, so we'll also have that conversation if we're starting a new show. Be like, so is this a tier A show? Because I need to know. If I need to know.
That's a really good way to navigate that.
I love that.
Because we had the conversation, because obviously this stemmed from, I thought we were watching this together, but you're scrolling. So I need to know like what the expectation is. So that's how that started. It's working out.
I think I'm gonna borrow, and by borrow I mean I'm gonna
Take
steal
it.
that.
Yeah.
Take it.
But I think that that's really important because, like, for us, we are in the thick of it. I mean, like, having to be like everywhere all at once, all the time, because youth sports ain't no joke. I mean, even though basketball's over, we still have, swimming lessons, and we have gymnastics, and then who the hell knows what else. And it's a lot. And so, I feel like there really wasn't a whole lot of time for any, like, sexy time during basketball season, because it was like, two basketball practices during the week in addition to all the rest, and then basketball games on the weekend. And it's a lot. You feel it in your body. It is a lot. So I think that, like, hygge is like, it's got to be intentional. Like,
Mhm.
it's got to be intentional. And I'm wondering, like, if any of my Danish friends happen to take the time to watch, I wonder, like, what they'll think. Because I don't think I've ever asked any of them about how do they do this. Because I think most people think about, like, coats and scarves and
Mhm.
blankets, tea and cider, and it can be all of those things. Absolutely. But I feel like, I don't know, like, the emotional piece too, is very important. And just like being able to connect with yourself or connect with somebody else in a way that's non-judgmental, and safe,
Mhm.
and secure. So yeah, I mean, I don't know, like, we've watched a lot of people in our social circle get divorced, and you can almost predict it. I'm not saying that this is due to lack of hygge, but I
Mhm.
mean, it's not my business, but you can almost predict it, like
Mhm.
around year 7, 10, and then 20, like when kids get older and they go off to college,
When it's just the
so
two people rattling around the house.
yeah, rattling around the house. Like,
It is a big shift. We were lucky that, like, immediately after all of the kids left the house, we got very involved in the local comedy scene, and they became like our surrogate kids in a way. So,
that's awesome.
yeah.
That is super
Some of
cool.
them are doing great. It's so cool.
We're almost at the top of the hour. Like, how do we
Yeah.
want to
Oh, this
wrap up?
honestly feels like a good place to pause if we're good.
Do we have any, like, things that we want to, like, announce company wise, that if you've hung on this long and you're still on the, congratulations.
That's you, bro.
Oh,
Sorry, I don't know why
it
I'm so
is.
broy this today. I mean,
It's
I can just read the little outro and we can be done.
Man, I'm just the founder. I am just the CEO. Okay, let me think. Let me just make sure. I need for everybody to subscribe to the newsletter. Do that. Everybody
Mhm.
subscribe to the newsletter. That
And
is
to the
very important.
YouTube.
And to the YouTube. Like and subscribe to our channel. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. And then, what do I want to ask? What is a good call to action? I
Send
need
the thoughts and
for
prayers to your local politician
Do that too. Yes, absolutely. And maybe get some O Nectar massage oil,
for
because it's
yourself.
like giving me life right now. Everybody buy a bottle of that. But that's my very unprofessional sign off. I didn't have anything prepared. So
Oh, I have. If you're ready to bring more softness, presence, and pleasure into your daily rituals, visit EngErotics.com and explore what speaks to you.
there you go.
uh,
Perfect.
with love and intention, thanks for being here. Bye. Okay.